Proposed aid from Lyndon Johnson's Great Society that actually rolled back some of the benefits that black families enjoyed, like a stable family foundation in the 1960s, no longer the case today, in part because the government gave them an incentive to live in single parent households rather than dual parent households. Affirmative action, effectively a cancer on our national soul, in part because it's a form of psychological slavery that holds black Americans back by teaching them that they can't get ahead without actually somebody giving them a boost. Aid from Lyndon Johnson's Great Society that actually rolled back some of the benefits that black families enjoyed, like a stable family foundation in the 1960s, no longer the case today, in part because the government gave them an incentive to live in single parent households rather than dual parent households. Affirmative action, effectively a cancer on our national soul, in part because it's a form of psychological slavery that holds black Americans back by teaching them that they can't get ahead without actually somebody giving them a boost.
There you go. There you have it, Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy, there you have it. There you have it up front. Basically, he's against Lyndon B. Johnson, so obviously he's against civil rights. Obviously, civil rights ended pretty much Jim Crow. So he's saying blacks were better off under Jim Crow. And it's not just him, it's a bunch of these guys. A bunch of these conservative guys have been saying that lately, that you're better off under Jim Crow. A bunch of these guys have been saying that. A bunch of these guys have been coming out. You have Byron Donalds, he said it. I just saw Brandon Tatum talk about it. Saw him on Piers Morgan. He said, he didn't say Jim Crow, he said slavery. He said blacks were better under slavery. Jim Crow, that's not slavery, but he said blacks were better under Jim Crow. Vivek, now he's a son of immigrants. He grew up here. I think he was born in Cincinnati. He's a billionaire, he's made his money here. He tried to run for president. Well, he ran in the primaries. He never made it up to where he's actually debating. Well, he was on the stage. He didn't make it through the primaries. Trump didn't debate any of them. I don't think Trump just stayed out of it, and which is completely hypocritical because he would have been the main one screaming for a debate. That's just. But what's the waste of time with that, huh? What's the waste of time with that? Now we got Vivek. Now, what does he have, though? What does he have? Normally, he's a Republican, right? He doesn't really identify. See, this is what you got to understand. This guy doesn't really, even though he's considered a minority, and this has been the whole push with all of this minority stuff, is to try to classify blacks from who were born here. And slavery, from the descendants of slaves, they need to have their own classification because they wind up, in many cases, a guy like Vivek, he doesn't care for the black experience. He thinks black should even be, I'm not saying he's saying put them back in slavery. He said put them, they were better off under Jim Crow. Now, what do you mean? They had no rights under Jim Crow. When you say single families, you're right, it was incentivized. Women, what were women going to do? Under Jim Crow, women couldn't go to work. They couldn't work the way they work now. They had limited freedoms. So it makes no sense to say, um, if we put everybody in jail right now, there would be no crime. Well, guess what? There would be no crime if we put everybody in jail. If we had put everybody right now, every human being in America behind bars, there would be no crime in the streets. There would be no crime. There would be no problems in the streets. You wouldn't have to worry about a lot of stuff because they're not in the streets. They're all in jail. So blacks were better off under Jim Crow, under oppression and injustice. So you talking about, what about the people? Do the people matter? Do you think would the people tell you that they were better off? Now this Officer Tatum guy, he should do something. He says if he's up front, because I know some doing this Nolan Whale stuff. He said something about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was right, which I don't get. He accused a white guy on the panel of not understanding because he's white, but then he says Charlie Kirk understood. And I have no idea what that meant. He said Charlie Kirk was right, but you don't understand, you're white. Now, Charlie Kirk, blacks were better off under slavery. That's ridiculous. What he should do is, practice what he preaches. He should say, I'll go 4 months. Officer Tatum should volunteer for 4 months, let somebody enslave you and get all the legal paperwork. You might not be able to do it in America, but go somewhere where they can literally treat you as a slave, including with the corporal discipline, and show us if when you come back, you're a better man after that. If you come back a better man, remember what I just said, you got to live under the same conditions. Now, you might not be able to do it in America, but there are some places out there you can live under those conditions. You would sleep out. You would be worked from sun up, sundown. It's going to be some hard labor, right? It's got to be slavery, right? So something that requires the back, like picking cotton and bending over. Bend over for 8 hours and see how your back feels. And remember, you said they were better off under slavery, right? That's what Brandon said, right? So bend over for 12 hours and remember, if you had some semblance of a family, you still were responsible for your family. If there was pants that need to be fixed, if there was something that need to be done, you still had to take care of your family. You got humiliated in front of your family. You know how it makes a man feel? His kid is there looking up to him, and the master lets this boy know that he's his daddy. Don't listen to him, listen to me. If you smart, or I'll open up your back. I'll expose your backbone just like I'll do his. Right? We were better off though. Brandon Tatum said blacks were better off. Now Vivek, he didn't say slavery. He said Jim Crow. And he tried to low-key attack Lyndon Johnson, right? Who certainly is not a perfect man. But he said that the civil rights, signing that took away benefits of blacks. Blacks would be under Jim Crow. Why don't you live under Jim Crow? And this is a man from a country with a caste system. You're born a certain way, you stay that way. If you can get out that country, yeah, you get out. But they have a caste system over there. If the untouchables, you're untouchable. You're not gonna be, you're gonna be a part of the untouchable community. You're not gonna be dating quality women. There was a guy, he put out I don't even know his name. He was over there doing a movie. This guy was talking about like 80, 87. And he went over there to do a film, and they gave him a driver. The guy drove the little ruckshaw, whatever. I don't know the name of that stuff. But he had the driver. The guy drove one of those things. He's one of those things. I think it was on feet, etc. Right? And he was assigned to him. He said, this guy will take you or go and get anything you need. So he said he's filming a movie about the third week. Everything was fine. He said this guy was coming in handy. And he said this because they was about getting ready to stop filming the movie. He said the guy had been an excellent host. He would tell him stuff and show him stuff. And he said, guy was just a great, I don't know the guy. He was from India and who he was assigned. So he said, I want to take you out for dinner on me, you know. And the guy said, okay. And the guy started taking him toward like a village over in India, right? He said, no, I don't want to go there. No, I'm going to take you up here with me, this expensive hotel, very expensive. He said, I want to treat you. And the guy told him, he said, I can't go in there. He said, what? He said, I'm not allowed in there. He said, they're not going to let me in there. So the guy said, well, let's see about it. Just take me. He went in there. He went in there and talked, like, hey, I'm an American. I'm an actor here. I would like to have dinner with with this guy. He's a citizen. He said, well, he can't come in here. And they said, no. He said, no. Listen, he's with me. He said, we don't care. He can't come in here. And he said the guy, that happened to him. So he finally went to another place. And he said he talked to the guy, and the guy was like, he's not allowed in here. And he said, what the guy said, because the guy was like making a big deal. The guy said, I'll tell you, I put a table outside. He never said he did. He said him, the guy who was a citizen there. They have a caste system over there. And he's up here talking about Jim Crow in America and black people. This is how they treat the people over there in India. So the man said they let them eat outside. And he said that dude knew better. He said he knew if he even tried to do that, there would be hell to pay on the back end. He said that dude was going to leave from his movie. And then he said he lives there. And he said he wasn't going to do that. That's why he said, I know better. I'm not going in those places. And he couldn't believe it. He said, man, and he's just a great guy. And he said he didn't know what to say. But he said he watched it. He said the whole time he was in India, he watched all types of people mistreat, citizens mistreat each other. And you listen to Vivek, he said that doesn't exist. He's talking about the black condition in a sense that blacks were better off under Jim Crow. What that means, would he even be here? You do have to wonder, would he even be in America if it wasn't for civil rights? You would have to really wonder. This is the arrogance, though. This is the boldness. Now, he got booed off stage because he was talking about data centers, okay? It wasn't because of the black comments, but he did say that. And the Black Caucus, or the black people in Ohio, they issued a reprimand because they don't even like that conversation. They don't even like someone suggesting blacks are better off without their rights, basically. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. You can't give blacks rights because they don't know how to use them. That's what, the Republicans ran him about. You're right. Yep. Now we got a guy in there now. He's all of a sudden talking about, don't worry about politicians. Bro, you're nuts. Anyhow, Republicans, you're right. The young Republicans, they've had it with guys like him. They've had it with his condescending attitude. I'm a billionaire. He went on some rant. Now, this had nothing to do with black people. This had to do with the Republican Party. He went on, you got whiners and you got winners. And we're going to put these data centers where they belong. Now, he's not talking about in his neighborhood. He's not talking about his family. He's not talking about his kid playing with all of that electricity and all that voltage and radiation. And all of the possible, look at all of the potential problems that thing could have in a community. We don't know. We really don't know growing up around all of that. And the amount of water, and then they don't even know. We don't even know. And people are saying they don't want them. So what do? And he's a politician. And this is what you get. This guy, just think about it for a minute. You go to a town hall. The people show up. You're the politician, they're the voters. They tell you they don't want something. You listen. You say, well, we are trying to bring jobs here. And they say, well, we don't want no data centers. We don't know. We don't think that that's good. We prefer if you don't have them. And to be flat out honest with you, politician, my people, most of my people would never work at a data center. So what's the big deal? You're going to put it here, but it's not going to really benefit us. And it has all types of negative aspects unknown about it. So no, I don't want the data center. Then he gives you a lecture. Just think about that for a minute. He's the politician. You're saying, no, I don't want that. He gives you a lecture. There's winners and there's whiners in America. What? There's winners and there's whiners. You don't want to be on the whining side. It sounds like to me, you don't know. Well, how about it sounds like I'm a voter and I know what I want to vote for? How about you be a politician, shut your ass up and respect the will of the voter? Period. I don't need your lecture. I don't need your lecture. But that's what he did, and they booed his ass up out of it. See, that's what I'm saying. See, this whole race thing, this is the thing that's dividing us. But this is what you need to do. They need to get who you talking to? Bro. Okay, you made, and I'm not gonna get into that, how he made his money, but anyhow, you made you some money, bro. Right? But that don't mean you can talk down, bro. You can't be. And nobody need to hear what you think of the American dream, brother. And that's what I'm saying. Ain't nothing wrong with making your money and loving America, but you also got to respect the will of the voter. You got to respect the will of the voter. What's up with you, bro? GA say Fort Lauderdale in the house. What's up with you? You got to respect the will of the voter. The voters is what the voters, what the country is, what we voted to be, right? It's what we want. That's what we want, right? We don't want things. That's right. Isn't that the whole debate? Isn't that the whole debate with the Trump and immigration? And we want if you haven't come through the right process, you got to leave. And then you have the companies who are bringing them in, the companies who are saying, come here because we can cut our costs to the bone. And you say Nike can make shoes in China for $15, but they sell them here in America for $150, and all that's profit. All of that's profit. Now you say, okay, well, that's when you look at that. See, but we support it though. No. Look, I don't care what. I personally don't give a damn what Nike do. Right? I got me some Joe. I got me a couple of pair. I got me some nice pair of Joe. I got some nice ones. They ain't never even out the box, bro. I'm looking at them junks right now. Motherfuckers, they even out. Them things so crispy, bro. Them things clean. Them things ice white, bro. Let me tell you something. Them shoes so clean, I leave them in the box. I put on flip-flops, go where I'm going, put them on in the car, walk around what I'm going to do, take them off, put them back in the box. I like them like that, bro. They look straight, brand new. I'm going to keep them like that. Now, but Nike, if you want to be for real, when you say this is America, you could make the case that they should bring the country, the Nike stores here. You can make that case that America would be better off if they put all them jobs here. And guess what? Hell, they make so much profit. Would it really even matter? I'm saying, would it really even matter if they say, well, we got to pay higher wages, health care, American citizens, hiring them to do the work is going to increase our overhead. But hell, you making so much in profit, is it really going to do? That's what I'm saying. You really just, all it would cut is your profit. You still could charge $150, but you would have to pay out more. And these are citizens. And that's what I'm saying. So obviously the will of the voter, if that was up to the voter, they don't want to see no damn company ship jobs overseas, but that's not up to, see, that's what I'm saying. That's when the politician betrays the will of the voter. And see, what Vivek Ramaswamy is, this is the racial hocus pocus. This is where he's a magician. He's talking insane. Any fool would say, man, you're going to put that stuff in your neighborhood. Don't put that stuff in my neighborhood. I live here. This is where my house is. This is where my family is. It ain't much, but it's mine. And no, I don't want no damn data center down the street from me. We don't know how that's going to affect us. Why don't you put it in your backyard and then come talk to me? And then, but he gave him a lecture. He gave him a lecture. Then they booed his ass. He ran his ass up out of there. Because see, he's not listening. When they do that, they're not listening. Right? Don't nobody need you to tell me about no data. Hey, listen to me, man. I said I don't want to hear. I don't need you to give me no spiel about energy cost and, you know, it's uncertain. I don't need to hear that, man. I know what I said. They ran him out of there. See, that's what I'm saying. But I think he should have been ran out for the Jim Crow statement. But see, that is appealing to white racism. He knows what he's doing on that. He knows exactly, even to say some stuff like that. He knows what he's doing. But see, overall, they're rejecting this guy. And it's really got to hurt him, bro, because he's bought into this, that he's something special. He has, man. He ran for president. He didn't win. He thought he would be the vice president. I thought he was going to be. I really did. Trump is a trip. Trump be doing stuff, man. It's hard to predict Trump. I really thought Trump was going to lock this guy in. Trump said, nah, I'm good. Trump be exposing these guys too, man. He be telling y'all, y'all think he that. Said, nah, this dude is nothing but a yes man. He said, you guys think he's not. I know. He said, he's a yes man, and then Trump will show you. He said, watch. He said, watch when I get an opening. Watch this guy who was saying all that about me. Watch him come down here with his tail tucked between his legs. And he's right, man. He be saying it. Say, finna kiss the ring. They finna kiss. I thought you was the old tough guy. It was Lindsey Graham. He was down there at the funeral. Didn't Lindsey do that? Lindsey was talking about Trump. Lindsey Graham talked about Trump like a dog. And when Trump run, what did Lindsey do? He went down there and kissed the ring. And that's what Trump trying to show you. These politicians really don't have your best interest at heart. You think they do. And see, Trump, he don't have no dog in the fight. He don't care. And this Vivek dude, he showed that, because I'm like, man, you got $1 billion. You living your best life, man. You finna run for president. But he has so much, I don't know what that was. He has some big deal with black. He has issues with the black experience. You know, he does, man. You be like, bro, you tripping. Bro, what are you saying? And he told him why he was running in 2023. He said there was no white racism. Now, which we know was a dog whistle. But when they got through frying his ass, calling him out, because there's a different world now. Now he's willing to say, oh, well, there is some pockets of it. Oh, no shit. So it's only there because you see it? And you and your wife and your kids, they saw you get booed off stage, brother, in America. And it wasn't a bunch of black people. You thought you would be accepted, didn't it? It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter, right? It don't matter. You think it don't? Okay. We'll see then, right? We'll see. We'll see if it matters or not. And that's another thing, lectures, man. People don't like to be lectured to, man. You can't tell an American what it's like to be. You can't see. They need to stop that. Now, I know he was born. Look, more power to the brother. He's all-American. Vivek, he was born here. He's 100% American. I'm not saying that. But the people who he wants to vote for him, they're the ones scratching their heads about it. They're saying, I don't know about this guy. Does he like baseball? Do you celebrate Christmas? I'm serious. They're asking these questions. They say, you're a Hindu. Right there. That's going to create problems. I'm telling you right there, in the black community, that ain't going to work. Now, you can be any faith you want to be. You can. You certainly are free. There's a free country. But that ain't gonna work. Once you say that around the black church people, they ain't got no problem with you. And they support your freedom, but they don't support that. They ain't gonna support that, bro. They're not gonna say, I already know that. I said, well, because and I can play the club, I'm not gonna play it. The guy called them out and say, you running around here faking like you're a Christian. And they say, you're a Hindu. He said, yeah, I am. I'm a Hindu. And he said, I'm not faking anything. And the young guy was talking to him, and I think it was that turning point, and they didn't like him. And um ain't nothing wrong with being a Hindu though, bro, if that's what you believe in. But that is gonna be something your opponents, they're gonna bring that up, man. Now look at this right here. We ain't said nothing about Obama. Look at this. Look at this right here. This is what you got here. And this is why guys like Vivek, they can get away with stuff they do. Trump is the best president. I voted for that man. I'm tired of you. People are racist people. Only the Democrats are racist. Thank you. So all the blacks in Obama, more black people are racist. There you go. There you go, Kimberly. There you go. You know what we're going to do with you for that? You know, you get the dungeon. We got to put your hooks on you. Guards, take her away. Take her away to the dungeon. Yeah, she'll be there for a long time. I mean, why would you? I mean, what's going on with someone to come on a social media page? What the hell? What does he mean? Blacks? Oh, you Democrats. You know, y'all Democrats, it's Obama and the Democrats. Y'all so racist. It's Obama and the Democrats. Oh man, we bring up Obama, we talk about Vivek. Who's talking about Obama? We talk about Vivek. What about Vivek? What about, and see, this is a new America now, man. So we'll see if it works, man. We'll see if it works. Well, but I do have I'm serious, man. I'm serious. And there was a dude in the chat. You know, brother, I don't care if the guy right here, Elbert. I don't care if you're a racist. I don't care. You think I'm trying to change you? And in fact, I want to invite you up. Were black people better off under Jim Crow? Not slavery, Jim Crow. Let's talk about Jim Crow. And if you like to, you can add in slavery. I want to hear. I want to hear. I wish Vivek would call. I want to hear, were black people better off under Jim Crow? Right? What? No, I'm just saying, remember what Jim Crow entailed, right? All of these rules, and when you traveled, you had to have, there was rules and hotels you could stay in, hotels you could not stay in. And under Jim Crow, I think, I don't think you could interracial marry. Under Jim Crow, I don't even know if you could, I don't even know how that worked, bro. You want to talk about a guy rolling the dice, bro. You are rolling some dice. They catch you leaving Mrs. house. I don't even know, man. I can't even begin to think about that. But were black people better off, in your opinion? Let's be fair. When you talk about the thuggery, when you talk about the thugging, when you talk about the criminal aspect, right? Unfortunately, within the black culture, that's marinated. That's just all over. You see it in the movies. You see it. You got 50 Cent. I saw it again. He's making another thug movie. That's why that's all this dude makes is thug movie. You know, the Wire. You had the Wire. I got that downstairs somewhere in the box. You had the Wire. You had Oz HBO. I don't have Oz though. Actually, that's of all of them. Oz was my best one, but and I didn't even say, you know what, I might do something. I got a plan. I might do a binge watch. I might do me a binge watch. I'm gonna have to plan me a time, man. Next time I go on vacation, I'm gonna binge watch Oz. Because it was up, I'd say up to like season 5. It fell apart the last 2 seasons. It fell apart. But before then, it was pretty good. Anyhow, were black people better off under Jim Crow? Is someone brave enough to take on that question? I'm not offended by it. God bless me, I was not born under Jim Crow. But I am not offended by it. I just want somebody, because I heard Brandon Tatum say it, and I heard all these people They keep, Brian Dolan said it. He said it. Like the stream, brother. Were blacks better off under Jim Crow? And this guy, I think this guy, he doesn't win this governor race, it's going to be pretty much his political, that'll be over with him, because his core, his base, his rejection is coming from his core. Your MAGA, especially these MAGA. I wouldn't say Republicans, but I would say MAGA. And then you got Nick Fuentes out there. Yeah, bruh. Yeah, that's a big section in the Republican Party. Yeah, they're being upfront too, man, because they hear all the dog whistling you're doing with the race. They ain't working with them, though, all that other stuff. That's not working with them. And you a Hindu? Come on, bro. Come on. I don't even know how you. I look for him to show us what's that like, you know. What do you do? Like, what day do you do? And which one is it? Because they got a lot of idols over there. Which idol does he worships? They got a lot of idols. Hindu is prehistoric. It's old. I think it's the oldest one. I don't even know if anybody even put a date on that. As a faith. And tell me, are you comfortable? Does that matter to you? A man of faith, does it matter if he's not a Christian? Does that matter? Like the stream, man. Support the platform. We got the join link posted, man. This guy, I mean, he says these, but see, I think that day is coming. All of these minorities who have all of this anti-black rhetoric that used to be able to cement them within the Republican Party, they're losing their power. You see Candace, all of them, they're losing because they're saying we don't really need this anymore. We don't need guys like this. What do they really do? What do they do? Like the stream, brother. Support the platform. What do they do? And this guy's a billionaire. What is it? And that's what you do have to wonder, because it was always the thing about rich people. Why does a rich man run for office? No, I'm just serious. Why? You're a billionaire. You want to run for political office. Why not just raise your family, man? Live your life. Oh, you want to make more money. Oh, okay. Okay, maybe, huh? I do wonder about that. If I had a bit, let me tell you something, bro. And I didn't, Vivek, you earned it. That's your money. I ain't earned nothing. I earned a $5 cash app right here. Thank you, G.A. Hamilton. That shows you. That's where I stand. I earned a $5 cash app. He thinks white tea will vote for a brown man that worships Krishna's and other Eastern gods. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a debate. It is a conversation when you talk about that particular faith. I have ran into some hairy, I think, Krishnas in California. Oh, but that's a whole different conversation. That is, for me, that's a different kind. That was an experience. It wasn't bad. Said Vivek got his money from Pfizer. Well, I like somebody, man, if they're brave. And it's funny, bro, because there's a lot of like these. I don't get the Trump supporters. If you think black people are better off under Jim, see, that's the problem. See, this is the problem. They won't say it. They want someone like him to say it, or Byron Donalds, or what's this guy, Brandon Tatum. They want those guys to say it. So you still need those guys if you're afraid to say it. If you're afraid to say that, you still need these guys. Or maybe you don't care about the truth. Maybe okay, it could be they could care less about the truth. Just say it. Just say it, get you some voters, get you some black people to vote for you. And if it wasn't for Lyndon B. Johnson, these damn Democrats, these Democrats, if it wasn't for these damn liberals, black people would have been better off. Y'all would have been better off. Y'all would have been way better off. Way better off. And then they get, but see, I think that whole soundbite, I think the internet killed that, because it doesn't matter now, because these people who would do that, they're not wanted. They're just simply not wanted. They're saying, man, we don't want to hear that from you. We hear what you're saying, but we don't want to hear that from you. And that's got to be shocking. If this guy doesn't win, he's worth of $3 billion. Woo! That would be something there, man, because he tried to run for president, and America showed you, the conservatives showed you, they don't want him to be their president. And Ann Coulter called the man out. I'm not even going to repeat what she said. And, you know, and then when you say black, you know, minority, you know, that's the whole thing about the blacks want to be an independent group for wait a minute, not just to be one, but because of, you know, people like Vivek, because they hide behind a minority classification and they cause all types of disrespect, and they hide behind that. They hide behind that, and people are tired of it. Now look, they had problems. I think Vivek, your faith, I think your Hindu, I think that's a lot of these people now, they want America to be English speaking, and they want America to be Christian. And like I said, even we go back to Dr. King and Malcolm, like I said, that whole Malcolm was the best speaker. You know, if you want to get down, yeah, he's the best speaker. But the people couldn't deal with his religion, that whole Islam. Say whatever you want. Maybe, you know, blacks been brainwashed and all. Say whatever you want to say. They were not going to go that far. Not in any significant portion, and they didn't go that far. They followed the Christian, Dr. King. And you playing with that. A lot of people. He says, I'm conservative and Catholic, and I support Mandani. Okay. I don't know. Is Mandani, what is he, Islam? That's a New York guy. I don't know nothing about New York. But it's a different time, man. Our country is changing. The demographics is changing. If you go to the mall, if you go anywhere, it's changing, man. Especially if you travel. If you're in and out of these airports, you see what's going on. All these corporations and exploitation. And if you got if you call in Home Depot, they send your call to Asia, and it's for something you got up down the street. You calling about a wrench, and they done pulled their customer services all overseas. So it's a different country now, man. And people, Rob Mack says U.S. citizens are too stupid. We think any politician can help us. Well, y'all voting for your favorite prison guard. Okay, brother, you done said that before. And, you know, I don't disrespect the citizens here, brother. If you don't care about your citizenship, care about mine, okay? Said none of them have anything to offer us. Well, you get to see Vivek. Now, he is Hindu, so you won't see a Christmas tree. I don't know. See, I would need someone who's familiar with the faith, because I don't know. Because some of these faiths, they don't believe in it. Like, you know how you say, just throw it up, it don't matter. Now you can't, it's like worshiping somebody. You really can't do that. There was a guy, he was a Muslim, and he was a doctor, and he was in a very nice neighborhood where everybody over there celebrated Christmas. They noticed he didn't. Well, he was always out of town, but he was living there. That was his home. And one day he came home, and it was a December, and they had put up lights, and they put a nativity scene in his front yard with, Jesus in the manger. And the guy was like, okay, now you're home. He said, okay, let me unplug it. He went and unplugged the cord and said, okay, yeah, just stick this in the wall, man. And he said, what do you do? He said, nah, man, everybody around here, we celebrate Christmas. He said, listen to me, man. Right? I don't care if you celebrate Christmas, but I don't. Who gave you the right to put all this stuff on my house? These lights up and this nativity scene in my front yard. And they got mad at him. He said, I need this taken down immediately. And he called the police. He made a police matter. And that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have no problem with this. See, I wouldn't have done that anyhow, though. I want to be, I'm putting up, you know what I'm saying? That's bold to do that. You're going to go on somebody's property, man, and hang up Christmas lights. And you don't know that you still have, that's common sense what he told you. Maybe that's not his faith. You can't say, okay, he's busy. He wants to come home to a nativity scene and Christmas lights on that man's property. But we do some, ain't that something, bro? That's crazy, man. Like the stream, brother. Let me get this racist up out of here. That was the Dixiecrats. That was your boy. You know, these guys, bro, you know what, bro? I'm not going to sit up here and have the same. These people, what is up with these people, man? What is up with these people, man? Democrats. The Democrats. Ku Klux Klan, Democrat. Bro, ain't nobody gonna vote for no Republican, bro. That shit ain't gonna work. They just keep throwing that out there. Democrat. Everybody thinking about voting for neither one of them. Get tired of these people, man. They think they can just change stuff. You can't change it, brother. And it's not working. Every 5 minutes, they scream talking about Democrat. Well, there go your Republican right there. Go vote for him. Y'all booed him off stage. Tell him to come back. And let him put that data center in your backyard. That's how stupid these people are. Let him, okay, you know what? Let him put that data center in your backyard. Let him get his money. And let him get his billions and billions and let him put that shit in your community. And she'll be talking some goddamn Democrat. People have a right not to have, nobody want that stuff in their, man, you don't know what that stuff do. You have no idea how that stuff's going to affect you. Let Elon put it in his backyard, just like that damn SpaceX. You know how much damage they doing with all those rocket launches and stuff? Let him put it in his backyard. In taxpayer money, ain't it something? And you guys fall for it. You guys so caught up with this race thing, you don't see the game. It's hocus pocus, brother. Don't you see what they're doing? They pull the race rabbit out the hat, and you guys are distracted. Then they put the data center in your backyard. Then they exploit you. They do all these negative things, and they hide it beyond. And he tried that. It ain't work for him. He did all of that, black people, and they were better off under, if it wasn't for Lyndon B. Johnson and these damn liberals. They actually hurt the black community when they signed the Civil Rights Bill. The blacks were better off. So basically what he just said, blacks are better off under Jim Crow. And that's a dog whistle to racism. But it ain't working. That ain't working. Nah. Ain't working. It ain't working. That ain't working, man. That ain't working no more. Hey, that ain't working no more. They want to know what else you got. What else you got? Okay, you don't like these. Okay, so you don't like. Okay. Where you going to church at this week? So all them black people you talk about, they go to church, no. But they go to church though. Where you going? Yeah, they're catching up to a lot of them, bro. Like the stream. He talking about LB Johnson. Well, we're not talking about that. If he said that, brother, that's fine. If he said that, right? But we're talking about Vivek. We're talking about what he said. How about that? Do you want to do that or you can't do that? Or you don't want to do that? Huh? Huh? Like the stream, man. Like the stream. He said not everybody goes to church or is on the right track morally. Well, you know what, brother? I'm gonna let you figure that one out. I can't even believe you said something like that. Bro, you know what, man? Some of you, some of you guys, man. And see, that's why we got guys like this guy, Vivek. What's his name? Vivek Ramaswamy. That's why you got guys like him. Because you have idiots like this guy, Jeb. Not everybody goes to church is on the right track morally. What is meaning what? They're supposed to be in the church. Actually, the sinners belong in the church. Did you know that, Mr. Jeb? Oh, you want to talk about the Democrat? You want to talk about Democrat? Why y'all vote for the Democrat? Why you give a damn who I vote for, bro? What's that to you? I don't care who you vote for. There you go. Now we got somebody. But this is the thing about that. Hold up. Let me tell you something. This is the thing. You're a coward, though. Let me say it right here. You're a coward. This is an internet show. Nobody cares. I'm not going to, I don't want to see you. You're afraid to come up and stand on what you say. And that is precisely the problem. Bring back Jim Crow. How? Just do it? Just snap your fingers? What's your rationale? What evidence do you have? And as long as these people are cowards and hide in the creases of the internet, that ain't nothing gonna happen, bro. Yeah, a lot of I know, I know this guy is like the stream, brother. Well, we're not even talking about Republicans or Democrats. We're talking about this politician getting booed off the stage. He's a conservative, and conservatives booed him off the stage. They booed him off. So what I'm saying is he keeps running into problems trying to run for these offices, governor, because the people, they're not accepting him. They're just not accepting him, and he's having a problem with that. And I guess he thinks he's going to be another Trump, man. He's just going to go in there and change the way everything is, man. Let me get up out of here. Look, if you're too stupid to use a StreamYard link, I'm just going to block you, okay? I'm just going to block you. All right, just simple as that. If you're too stupid you got the StreamYard link, you can join, you can have your thoughts, your opinions. If you want to sit in the chat box, and a lot of my internet trolls, I'm getting rid of a lot of them, and just say nonsense, we'll just take you and put you in the dungeon. How about we just do that? There we go. There we go. People are people are getting tired. They're getting tired. For years, people have come in and played this game, man. They come in, they say a lot of anti-black rhetoric, and they get elected. But that's not gonna work anymore. Do you know you still can be a conservative Democrat? Do you know that? Yeah, man. If I had $3 billion, I probably would be doing something else, man. And then the way he's getting run off stage and stuff, that's got to make him feel terrible because he's trying his best to fit in. He's really trying to fit in, and man, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at this guy saying, I don't think they buying this. You the next big thing. I don't think that's working for you. So I heard what Ann Coulter said, and yeah, the people they've been coming after him on that. He had to get off the stage, man. That's not good. I don't know who he's running against, that governor, but that's going to really give his opponent a lot of fuel because they're going to bring that back up. They're going to bring that back up. And they're going to talk to him about his lectures. I'm like, do you really think you're in a position to lecture someone? Yeah, I didn't see that. I heard about that, Ramil. I didn't see that. They said he was barefoot. See, that's what I'm saying. I think that's a part of the culture. See, I didn't know that. See, that's what I'm saying. And when I say that, I mean that is I'm not familiar with the religious practices of Hindus. I don't know. And that thing, you talk about Christianity and the way it branches off into all these different denominations and stuff like that. Where you think, whoo, bro, Hindu, that branches off. There's a lot. I think it's like 300 or something like it's a whole different bunch of different things that they worship and just different ways to worship. So somebody said he didn't have no shoes on. So it might be a part of his faith, man. Wouldn't that be something to see the first president of the United States, doing one of those press, where he's making peace with Putin and he sits up there, he's got on that Hindu robe and the sandals or barefoot. Wow. Said no billionaire should run for office. Yeah. You said a Republican sued what, California? Yeah, sued Illinois for giving reparations to black people. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them. You're seeing a lot of that stuff. They're anti-black big time. And this guy's been thrown to the wolves too, bro. Vivek, they're not helping you. They're not helping you, brother. Yeah. Oh man, this guy. Hey, but you got your money though. You got your bread though. Shit, that's a lot of paper there, man. $3 billion. You got your money, but I listen to conservative media, man. They are not behind you. And that's what blows my mind because you'll go in after black people, and it's crazy because I'm like, man, he trying to dog whistle to white racism, but they're done with you, brother. You don't get that in that little speech. That ain't gonna work, bro. They don't see you. You not know Abraham Lincoln. They don't want to hear that from you, and that's what he don't understand. But he'll find out. He thinks he's a Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, he said, Mr. TV1 says he got tore up by Republicans. One white guy said, I don't trust you because you're Hindu and you're not Christian. He was trying to defend himself. Yeah. That's exactly what he was trying to do. Defend himself. That's the game they play. That's the hustle. And that's worked. A lot of people, that's the whole FBA movement, right? And ADOS, but both of them, that's the whole FBA movement is people like Vivek. Born in America, they get all these privileges because of black people. Affirmative action, somebody showed where he benefited from affirmative action. He gets all of these benefits because of the sacrifice of black people, the blood that was shed. And then he turns around and disrespects them same people by playing into white racism. He disrespects those people by saying ridiculous things like blacks were better off under Jim Crow. And then using himself as, because he's a man of color, as some type of symbol that it can be done. Bro, you tripping, bro. You are tripping. And that's running. No, that trick, that old trick, that's over with. That don't work no more. He gotta have another trick. And he's finding it out. He's finding it out. People ain't falling for that no more. Look at me. I'm a black man and I made it in America. Man, got $3 billion. We don't need these damn government set-asides. We don't need this. And the black man would be better off if it wasn't for that damn Lyndon B. Johnson, Lady Bird Johnson up there messing around. If he would have just left things alone, everybody would be like me, billionaires. Well, it didn't work, man. They booed his ass off stage. They don't want to hear that. They said, bro, hey, bro, we don't even want to hear that. What else you got? He started talking about data center. Man, get you. They booed him off. Boo. They don't want that. I don't blame them. Man, that thing loud too, bro. Go on YouTube and look up data centers. Go on YouTube. You're going to see people who raise up their window. That thing like a plane. That thing is like an airplane, like if you live by an airport. The dude let up his window, you can hear that hum, that it's like a hum. It's like a hum, electric hum. Anybody you ever been by a big one of those big like air conditioners? You get that little hum, yeah. Yeah, I was like, damn, I don't like that, man. And you got children. Your kids are young and their ears, they tender and they got to listen to that low hum. They don't have to, but because that data center's there, they have to hear that low hum. Not to mention grow up around all of that fall off and all that all that current. And don't nobody know how that affects the human being. They don't know. They don't know. And that's why people saying, hey, they don't want it. Look, they get it. And they got a bunch of them. They said, we get that, make money off it, but put it where it belongs. It don't belong in no damn neighborhood. That's not no damn Walmart. Put that thing way out. Well, we do that, we got to get the water. We got to put it close to the water. Wait a minute, man. I drink. That's drinking water. Yeah, I know it's drinking water. We need it for to cool down the super center. Brother, no. No, brother. I drink from that. I do not want that. I don't know what you're going to do with it afterwards. I don't know. But no, I drink from that. I don't want to drink some water that, came from the plant. We know that ain't going to happen, right? Well, I'm being very generous. That won't happen. But man, I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying, man. And we don't know how that's going to affect. While we don't know. We don't know. Putting that thing out there, that's going to affect, you know, the living, our country and our environment. Mr. TV1 says, Platt, can you pull the article of the Trump administration suing the state of Illinois because they're giving black people reparations? John Mendina thinks it's a lie. But they were just in there. Well, not him, but somebody was just in there talking about Democrat, the KKK, Democrat, Jim Crow, Democrat. He just said Trump administration just sued Illinois over reparations. Bro, these people, they are blinded, bro. They don't want to deal with the truth, man. No, I believe you, man. I believe you. They don't want to get no reparation, nobody. They just don't want to give it to no black people. Like the stream, brother. Democrat. But they said Jim Crow Joe Biden. Jim Crow Joe. I was like looking at this. I said, wait a minute, what a Jim Crow Joe? Hillary Clinton called y'all super predators. What? What is this? Oh man, these guys, bro, they want you to vote. Like, why you want me to vote for the Republicans so bad, man? I mean, like, damn. Okay, what are they gonna do for me? All right, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm a black man in America. What you gonna do for me, Mr. Republican? Well, you're Jim Crow. You want to do what to me? Well, you guys were better off under Jim Crow. So wait, you want me to vote for you so you can put me back under Jim Crow? That's okay. That's your pitch to me? That's your pitch to me. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work, bro. This stuff real until it happens. See, let me tell you something, Chris. He said your opinion don't matter after taking that water to cool that plant down. Let me tell you something. You can play with that. You can play with that until you're in the hospital. And let me tell you something. A check, what that's gonna do for you? You sue the company and they pay off. And you get a check. Granddaddy dying because of the data center and Uber. We sued them and he got a check. They gave Granddaddy a check for $800,000. Well, no, hold on. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Granddad. But you can't do nothing with it. What you gonna do with $800,000? And then your kids gonna need a check because they grew up just behind you. Man, people, see, that's what I'm saying. And black people don't. Black people don't. But you got to be careful with your environment. We talk about racism. That's environmental racism. When somebody puts that type of stuff in a neighborhood that's poor, that is environmental racism. Because once again, that politician is not putting that in his backyard. He's not putting that in his backyard. You think he don't know? His kids ain't gonna be nowhere near stuff. When his kids wake up, they're gonna hear nothing but birds. When they look out the window, they're gonna see deer and rabbits and a beautiful landscape. And they're gonna grow up in a gated community and go to a private school. Your kid gonna have to hear the hum of electric motors, generators. A low-level hum of that growing up their whole fucking life. How's that going to affect them, man? And why do you have to give in to the politician? Yeah, of course he wants to put it there. He's going to get donations to his campaign fund. Of course he wants to stick it in your backyard. That's how he makes his money. That's how he gets his campaign funds. He sticks that junk in your community. You don't have to back down. Oh, you know, to stop being you a winner or a whiner. You gonna stick it in your backyard? You a winner or a whiner? Yeah, I wouldn't play with that, man. Because I didn't know those data centers use water, and then because I thought water was water, right? They use the water evaporates, comes down. They said, nah, man. They say it don't work like that down there. I was like, huh? I was like, what? It don't work like that. Anyhow, Vivek, I don't know, man. They ran him off stage this time. His racial pandering, his dog whistling, that's not working. Isn't that something when you take? See, this is what I know it wasn't meant to work this way. I know this was not what it was meant to be. But what's happened because of all this America First conversation is they're starting to see these guys. Hey, they're not America First, but they're starting to see these guys that they're singing that little song. You come in here whistling Dixie, dog whistling to racism. But these people, a lot of these voters are saying, okay, what else you got? Okay, man, listen, I agree with you. Chicago, got you. What else you got? Because see, that's normally all they want to talk about. Now they ain't got nothing else. What else you got? Oh, you got a lecture. You're going to lecture me. I'm an American. My dad was an American. My dad fought in a war. I got relatives who died in wars. You over here lecturing me? Telling me what a winner is? Based on who you? Yeah, he ran his ass up out of there. Blacks were better off under Jim Crow. America wasn't better off. Man, I'm so happy though. I'm so happy I wasn't born. Bro, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it. And it ain't because I like white women. See, that's what a lot of these dudes, a lot of these brothers want to make it because of them white girls. Them dudes, they would have got hung out here. They ain't gonna leave them white women alone. They not gonna leave them white girls alone. So I'm talking about brother 2026. They ain't leaving that. No, brother. No, brother. They ain't going after that snow, bro. They gonna have to do that. Then they gonna take their chance. So they going to see Missy. But no, we weren't better off under Jim Crow. And yeah, it just wouldn't work, man. And Jim Crow wasn't Jim. See, this is what people don't understand. Segregation actually would have worked if it was segregation. It wasn't segregation. It was not separate but equal. It was separate and unequal. And that's why they had to get rid of it. But if it would have been clean railroad cars, clean water fountains, both fountains are maintained, taken care of. If it would have been that way, it may have worked. But people shut to the court. That's what they proved to the court. Well, those are your intentions, but that's not the way it's playing out. Companies were cutting prices and people just in general. Human nature, man. Human nature. People, look, whether you like it or not, people. Oh, man, do you know man's nature is evil? That's just his nature. It's not to be good. It becomes survival. Man's nature. They've seen that. People have shipwrecked. Planes have crashed. And what do people have done? People cannibalize these people. We're not talking about that day, but you go 3-4 weeks, people, things change, man. Hunger can drive you crazy. And power. A lot of people, they don't like being told what to do, man. They even know they can't do that. I've just jobs I've walked away from. I don't like now. I've worked jobs that first day, the way that guy be talking to people, he don't see me the next day. I said, nah, that ain't gonna work. Nah, I don't know what he on. I said, but he ain't gonna talk to me like that. Cause that shit ain't cool. Now I'm like, I'm gone, bro. I saw some dude, he was abusing someone at a Subway, some customer. No, it was a chick. She was abusing a guy. And he let her get away with that, bro. Ain't no way. That woman was talking crazy to him. That woman was talking so down to that brother. Then turned around, the brother said something back. She said, no, fix it this way. Didn't I tell you to fix it this way? Are you listening to me? You fix it this way. And he fixed, he said, okay, is this right? The girl next to her said, girl, he just breathed out on your food like that. What's wrong with? I said, bruh. I said, bruh, ain't no way, bruh. Ain't no way. I turned that customer down. I said, nah, man, you don't know how to talk to people. So no, I can't make you no sandwich. You don't get to talk to me like that. Yeah, it was just real mad disrespectful. It was a black woman, 2 black girls, and a black dude. And it was just mad disrespectful. Just emasculating. It was just, I don't know what was going on with them. I don't know what they was trying to prove. They were talking to that man crazy, bro. Like the stream, brother. Vivek Ramaswamy ran for office and he left. Uh-oh. Mr. TV1. Whoever that is. Who is that? Mr. TV1. Does the president not pick his cabinet members? Trump picked Todd Blanche. That's his private attorney. But I think I don't think he's gonna make it through because they was talking about that January 6th fund. And remember, we're still at war. $2 billion a day. $4 trillion added to the debt. Remember, we are still in war. We're still at war. This country's still at war with Iran. And Iran has picked it up. Trump's tried to pull out and Iran's picked it up. That's why Iran went after those ships. Iran's picking it up, man. And when you have guys like this guy, he can come in and isn't that something, bro? If you can do it as a black person too, though. But let's just be for real. If you're a minority, not a black citizen here from this country, you can parlay that like double your money at the crap table by being anti-black. Just be anti-black. Just you hate Obama. The country's going the wrong way. I'm so sick of all these black people. They don't deserve what they have. You know, that shit would work. That shit work. It used to. It used to work real good. I mean, it may have been slowed down, but it used to. If you were not a black person talking like that, That worked, man. That worked. But people, it's been exposed. That ain't working no more. Now, this is Vivek, right? Who got ran out of a town hall. He literally got asked to leave a town hall, right? And this is his anger. When it comes to black people, check him out.
Supposed aid from Lyndon Johnson's Great Society that actually rolled back some of the benefits that black families enjoyed, like a stable family foundation in the 1960s, no longer the case today, in part because the government gave them an incentive to live in single parent households rather than dual parent households. Affirmative action, effectively a cancer on our national soul, in part because it's a form of psychological slavery that holds black Americans back by teaching them that they can't get ahead without actually somebody giving them a boost.
This is the same brother, right, who said that about black people, right? Just incredibly disrespectful. The white MAGA just ran his ass out of a town hall. He tried to lecture. He tried to run some game on them. They weren't going for it. See, this thing used to work. That don't work no more. He can go in there and say that. They be like, okay. What else you got? Okay, we get it. You don't like Negroes. Okay, what's your next? What else you got? He tried to run in there with that data center stuff, and they said, nah, bro. I don't want that in my neighborhood. What else you get? Then he gave him a lecture about winners and whiners. They booed him off. They said, man, you better get your. Who you lecturing? Do you like baseball? Do you eat hot dogs? Are you a Christian? Fuck you talking to, bro? We're Americans over here. I don't know what you talking about. They ran his ass up out of there. See, that's what, and people say it's long overdue. It's long overdue. It is long overdue, man. We got to stop falling for the racial shell game. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Something to help your community? Are they going to do something for you? This guy, you're going to get more of the same. This guy's more of the same. And this guy found out on stage. He found out on world stage with all of his money, all of his conversation, and his conservative leanings. They didn't want him. They said, we don't want you for president. And he thought if he kissed enough ass, Trump would make him vice president, which that surprised me because I thought Trump would. And that show you, right? That's what we say, look, the criminal stuff and Trump, I have a lot of issues with Trump, but Trump does do good things. Trump always shows the world, these people, you think he's base. So that dude ain't nothing but a yes man. And Trump saying that. Trump saying he can't be president. That guy, they ain't never vote for him. Yeah, and Trump said, I don't care about this little man. He do that to Elon. He be sonning Elon. So y'all, no, not look, Trump is good at some things. He's bad at others. But he be sonning Elon. He sent Elon out there. He let him get in a fight. Trump didn't even interfere with that. That man worth what? How much is worth? What, $1 trillion? He worth what? 800 million or something, and $1 billion. And Trump let him get in a fist fight with his transportation secretary. Trump didn't say nothing. Oh. Trump something else. Trump let that man get hemmed up. That man hemmed. He hemmed Elon Musk's ass up there. That dude he put hands on Elon. That's one good thing about all of this America First stuff, though. It's long overdue. One good thing about that is the Vivedics, they're pretty much finished. They're finished. People have had it with them. I've had it with their racism, with their dog whistle, the white racism and nonsense and excuses. I've had it with that. Said Trump has to face sentencing for his conviction in 2 years. I don't know. They probably going to, if things go the way I think they're going to go, if he leaves, they're going to pardon him. Whoever wins, they're going to pardon him. And once again, we said the will of the people. They're not going to live, even though they're going to get the most. If Republicans lose and a Democrat wins, they're going to defy the will of the people, and they're going to pardon him. I don't know all of that money. I don't know. I don't know about the rest. You're talking to the wrong guy. But this guy right here posed a question where blacks just better off. Damn. She said Vivek Ramaswamy is a straight up, I live in Mason where he's from. Yeah. And the funny thing about a guy like this, and he grew up in Ohio, and I don't know, probably grew up around a lot of white dudes or whatever, white women and white dudes, right? Probably, right? He probably was a Dungeon and Dragon geek guy, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But he has very limited understanding about black people, extremely limited. Your comprehension of black history or the black struggle is very limited if you think Jim Crow or slavery or barriers were better off for black people. You cannot say you have a full understanding of everything that happened with black people. You can't say that, then make a statement like that. You just can't say that. That's offensive too. And also, you're from India, or your parents were, brother. India right now is doing all of this stuff. So, do you want to impose a caste system in America? When I was in the service, when we went to India, I swear, I never, and I grew up in a poor community. I grew up in a poor community. All of this stuff, all of this, everything that you see and stuff, I've seen that stuff. The police, they go to a certain community in your city. They say this community, this happened, this happened, this happened. I grew up in one of those this happened communities. But when I went to India, I've never seen people get treated like that. It scared me. Literally scared me. The way that they treat the dust and the disregard for human life. You just should have seen, it was just pitiful, man. And then you look at those trains, and every now and then a train, a catch, they sitting all on top of the trains. And every now and then somebody will get crushed by the train. And you know what? They just keep on going. See, that's what I'm saying. Like in America, they would stop, right? They don't even stop. It's sad, man. It's sad, man. It's just sad, man. Anybody who's been there, you know. And I wasn't there long. But I wish they would have told me I couldn't see. I'm a different type of dude. If they would have told me I can't do something, I would say, well, I can't do what? No, you black. You cannot come to this property. But everybody else going there, I know they can come. Not you, you black. You too black. You not welcome. Man, I went to jail that night. I went to jail, me and him both. Well, I know where he would have went, but I'd have went to jail. Hey, nobody did nothing like that. I was in India. Nobody talked to me like that. Nobody talked to me like that. I went in there, we cleaned out this orphanage. We painted the walls. I seen what they do over there. Spent the whole weekend painting and meeting. Saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of the charity work they do over there. Nobody talked to me. Nobody said nothing to me like that. They didn't say, I wish they not. That man, it wouldn't, you would have heard about that on fucking CNN, bro. What you somebody would came up to me something like, well, what? I can't do what? I can't go where other people go? Yeah, you cannot go. Why? You black. Man, that would have been the end of that dude. And I'm glad he didn't do it. That's why I'm a free man. He said, even if it's true. Oh, this guy says, it's dumb to pose an argument that black people were better off oppressed, even if it's true. Well, I don't know about that problem, even if it's true. Yeah, Hutch, come on, Hutch. Hutch. This is ridiculous. But this is the world we live in, brother. That man said, even if it's true. Well, nobody can explain that. These guys go on these long tirades, but when you're really listening to it, they don't support that. They're sympathetic to what black people had to go through, bro. They're sympathetic to the struggle. They understand how hard it is. And even now in these hoods, man, most people are not involved with criminal behavior. We had pockets. The ghetto people, actually, the ghetto people were not from the ghetto. Now, if you want to be for real, the ghetto people came from like low income housing. They had like a division of low income housing. And then you had a housing project, and then you had neighborhood, you had a big field, and then you had a neighborhood, middle class neighborhood. All the trouble came from the low income housing. Didn't come from the ghetto. The projects that didn't come from them. Did not come from them. All them dudes that was doing all of that stuff was coming from low income housing. And I can show you, I can drive around there right now. I can show you the houses. Those houses are trash now, but I'm just saying, growing up, I seen those houses. I knew those dudes. I knew them before they dropped out of school. I knew them. I mean, when I said knew them, I mean, I was in third grade with them, doing what a third grade does, coloring and learning sets right next to them. I knew exactly where they were from. I walked home. I passed them as they went home. They would later go on to drop out and become thugs, but I understand what went through. That community, right? And that's the thing about it. They keep thinking ghetto. And maybe that's because these dudes want to shoot their video. When they want to make their music video, they want to go to the ghetto and show out and stunt and flex in the ghetto and say, I'm from the ghetto. I'm from the ghetto. I'm from the ghetto. Just bought a Cadillac. Just bought a Cadillac. You know, they do all of that in the ghetto, right? But I'm telling you, bro, that ain't where the thugging come from. The thugging come from that low income housing community. That's where all the thugs come. That's the thugging. A lot of them too, man. I was like, dude had a mama and a father. Both of them had good jobs. Dude was a thug. Dude got me in trouble so much, man. I had to leave dude alone, bro. I thought, and I actually seen his people, they had dropped him off, nice car. And then one day walking home, we go down, and then next thing he said, I'm finna go home, man. All right. I said, huh? He said, I'm gonna go home. I looked in, I said, well, that's your house? He said, yeah, man. That's my house. And he walked on home. That dude was a bone thug. That dude was he was bullying people. That dude was sling a grapefruit in the back of something. He didn't care. He literally lived with no bound. That dude would pick up a grape. He would say, "Hey, man," and I was, I was wrong, but anyhow, I was with him. He would say, "Man, I'm finna hit this motherfucker," and I'd look at him, and I'd see the dude, right? Be some dude just eating lunch. He said, "Wait till you get up." And I used to watch this dude. He said, "Just wait till you get up." He didn't do nothing to him. I stopped even saying, "What did he do?" Not that's a waste of time. He said, "Wait till you get up. You keep thinking you think I ain't gonna do it, don't you?" He said, "You're gonna find out." Man, dude would take his tray up and dude started walking back to class. He would run out and shoot, bam. Hit dude in the back of the head with a grapefruit and all the fruit and stuff would bust up. And he would run and the dude would be there in tears. And then I would catch up with him and then he wanted me to give him a rundown of what happened. Yeah, I left that dude. I said, "Man, I don't know about this dude." I said, "This dude gonna get me kicked up out of here." I said, "I ain't got no big pretty house to go home to." Yeah, so he used to say, "Hey man, come on, let's go to lunch," right? We go to lunch. When we get in lunch, you go, you sit there and stuff. He said, "Come on, man." And I looked at him. He said, "Come on." I said, "Nah, man, I'm trying to finish this off." He said, "Huh?" "I'm trying to finish this off, man." And I just stayed down. He sort of was mad, but then he would later go on to this man would later go on to drop out. And 4 years later, he would join the newscast as they found his body. They found his body. He messed somebody dope money up. Or that's what they said. And I seen these dudes. I know where the criminals come from. That dude came from a damn good family. I don't know what was going on with him. I have no idea what was going on with him. But he wasn't ready to go to school. I know that the way he was acting. And he was a man child. We had a bunch of them dudes out here, and I'm in the South. Somebody told me LSU is real bad with that. They said Baton Rouge, they got a lot of men children out there. No, I'm not talking about mentality. I'm talking about like 14, but the dude looked like he 25. They say they got a lot of that down there. But that's what I'm saying. We had a handful of those dudes, and this dude was one of those man childs. He was big for his age, and then he was a bully behind that. So, but once he started dealing with the real thugs, though, they cashed his ass out. He should have knew that. He should have knew that. Hey man, I wouldn't take this little elementary bully game to the streets. They cashed his ass out. Vivek Ramaswamy booed off stage. His dog and pony show is run out. It's run out now. People not interested. He's not really saying nothing. You're saying these extreme, ridiculous things about black people, but you're not telling us what else you're going to do. And now he's forced to sort of do that. And other than just speeches and mindless blather, people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear his version of America. They believe in their version of America. When they look at America, they see Thomas Jefferson. They see Benjamin Franklin when they look at America. They see George Washington. They don't see no damn Vivek Ramaswamy practicing Hindu. They don't see that. Like the stream, brother. Like the stream. He went in front of a MAGA crowd, and it didn't work out well for him. He had to cut his speech short, and he got mad. He got in his feelings, and they didn't fall for his winner and whiner speech. And he didn't like that. He said, "Hey, I'm the one with the money." They said, "So?" "I don't like black people." They said, "Okay." He said, "Well, I want to run for office." They said, "Well, are you a Christian?" He said, "I don't like black people." They said, "We heard that. Are you a Christian?" He said, "No." He ran his ass out of there. Yeah, they ran him out of there. We don't want to hear nothing else. No, man, it's poetic justice though, because he been dogging black people out so long, bro. That's how he tried to get that get back. You know what I'm saying? That's how he got that get back. They got him right back, bro. Them days are over, bro. And see, I'm tired of people doing it. You know, if you're gonna do it, stand on it. A lot of these dudes, they don't stand on it. They use themselves. You look at a guy like him. He uses himself as some type of barometer of equality in America. If I can do it, anybody can do it. All of this government set asides and all of this stuff is a waste of time. We don't need to do that. Look at me. I'm an Indian American. I'm a billionaire. You can do just like me. Well, apparently the conservative right has said, well, we don't want to hear that anymore. They said, we're tired of that. They said, I want my mom. I want that they said, Vivek, we want apple pie like mama used to make. We want baseball like my daddy used to watch. And we want to go to church like my grandma and granddaddy took me to church. We don't want what you offering us, brother. Your racism, it still ain't enough. We get it. You don't like the blacks. Okay, but what else do you have? And you know, and that's what I'm saying. That's all he's got. They ran him off stage too. You got to go see it, man. And this has got to be tearing this guy apart because he really thinks he's one of them. He really thinks he's one of them. He just he in his mind, hey, I'm conservative, man. Hey, man, I'm conservative, man. I'm a conservative. Uh, uh, like the stream, man. Support the platform. Let me put this in here. We got the join link posted, man. We'll take your thoughts. He said he's a conservative. And what's the one what Ramil said? What Ramil said he had on bare feet. See, that's what I'm saying. I haven't even seen that. Somebody said that. I mean, I know he ain't doing that. I hope he ain't. I hope he ain't walking around with a full suit on and barefoot off of some type of Hindu tradition. I hope not. I don't know that. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Isn't that sad though when you talk about uh, a minority, like you a minority from India, and you got no love or no appreciation of black people and everything they've done is built the country, the sacrifice they made, period, just being a slave. And your idea of quote unquote resolving it is to ignore it. And you think that because you spew out racism, white people are going to like you more. Well, they said they need more now. They've upped their ante. And these guys are falling flat on their face because they really don't have nothing other than that. When you take that from them, when you take that racism from them, they have nothing. Then they become a politician right in front of you. Then they want to stick the data center in your backyard. Then they want you to tear your baseball field up while they put another data center in there. And they can be smug and they can turn around and tell you how the Negro, we should have kept Jim Crow. But people are requiring more than that. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. They're saying you're going to give me more if you want my vote. I hear what you're saying. You clearly don't care for black people. Okay, now what else? And they ran this guy off the stage. And we got a letter. We got a letter right here from the Ohio Black Caucus. It says, the Ohio Legislative Black Caucus strongly condemns remarks by candidate Vivek Ramaswamy that black Americans were better off doing segregation. The Jim Crow era was marked by legalized discrimination, segregation, disenfranchisement, racial terror, and barriers to education, housing, employment, and economic advancement. I resent the candidate's attempt to rationalize the continued racism of black Americans. Having lived through that time, I remember the classified wanted ads, which specifically stated that no Negroes need not apply. She uses the NNNA, no Negroes need not apply, and much more. Any rhetoric that romanticizes or minimizes this painful chapter of American history disregards the experiences of millions of black Americans and undermines the process and progress achieved through decades of courage and sacrifice. The Ohio Legislative Black Caucus rejects any attempt to portray Jim Crow as anything other than one of the darkest periods in American history. Our ancestors fought tirelessly to dismantle legalized segregation and secure the freedom of many to enjoy today, including Vivek. We honor that legacy by speaking this truth about our history and continued work of expanding opportunities for every Ohioan. The Black Caucus remains committed to defending historical truth, protecting civil rights, and ensuring every Ohioan has an opportunity to thrive. They came out, I'm looking at the letterhead, they came out and publicly criticized this man for making a stupid comment like it's okay. Jim Crow was a good thing. Jim Crow was a good thing. And he's dog whistling to white racism. That's all that is. That's a dog whistle. That's a dog whistle to white racism. And it still works. It's not completely tied out. You just see the chat box. It still works on a lot of whites because they don't care about anything but black people. Like they just want to keep black people. They don't care. They don't care about politics. They don't care about nothing but black people, what black people are doing, and as long as they don't exceed what they're doing. That's all they care about. But that's not working anymore. That's worked in the past though. But people are waking up to that. So now, and then what he also does is he when he puts himself out there, black people know this dude ain't a friend of he's not a friend of the culture or a friend of the community. He's not a friend. He's an enemy to that culture. So now he's out there by himself in MAGA world. He's out there by himself in MAGA. Right around all these people who they've had it with him. They just simply had it with guys like this. They don't want, these guys claim to be the American dream and stuff like that. Yeah, you're very successful. Vivek, you're very successful. Vivek, you're very successful. Nobody did my $3 billion, Pfizer, you made your fortune. But that doesn't change what people see. They want to see you. They want to see you. Are you someone I can identify with? They hear what you say. They hear the rhetoric. They hear the ultra conservatism. But they're taken aback when they find out, you're a Hindu. That makes them back up, which is fine. Let me say this, because I got to clear this up. Absolutely nothing wrong with being a Hindu. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm talking about the voters he's trying to get to vote for him. Because he thinks the racism starts with black people. He stops with black people. It's more to it than that, brother. That's because he thinks that. He thinks, okay, well, they just don't want to see black people advance. They don't have a problem with me. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? You positive? You positive about that? You positive that they don't have a problem with you? Because maybe they got a problem with you. Okay, I agree with you, Vivek. I agree with you. Talk about these Negroes, say they put them back in Jim Crow. That's a dog whistle to white racism. But them same people who want us back in Jim Crow, what do you think they think of you, brother? And that's where a lot of people don't believe you can be that naive. You really think they like you? If they want to see black people back in Jim Crow, you think they want you to be their governor? You think they want you to be their leader? But they want black people back in Jim Crow? That just show you the mind, just the madness, bro. And the brainwashing. This guy, the brainwashing. And I'm a black man, Vivek. I'm a black man. I've dealt with racist people. I just did what I was supposed to do. And I left them alone. They left me alone and I left them alone. I am telling you, brother, because you don't understand it. They don't like you. I don't know where you're getting that they don't like Negroes, but they like you. You crazy, bro. You think that? You really think that? They just booed your ass up out of it. They said, man, you better get your ass up out of here. Oh man. Let's just show you, bro. They don't care, bro. Yeah, Indian culture. Yeah, I could. You need to talk to some of the I don't even know. I don't know what they're doing over there. They got so many people over there. I don't know. They got to have immigration issues. There's a billion. I didn't even know it was a 1.5 billion. When you see all those trains, man, they got too many people over there. When you look at the trains and you see 500 people on top of a train, on top of the train, that's too many people. And how they figure that out, that's up to them. I don't know how you figure. Well, I know how China figured it out, but we'll see. And I agree. Some people saying Americans, we do take a lot for granted because real poverty, go to India. Shit, go to China. Go to China, bro. You ain't seen real poverty. I'm talking about real poverty. Africa, it's a lot of these countries, bro. You'll be introduced to real poverty, not this American poverty where if my stamps don't hit, my stamps don't hit. They got food at the house, and they talking about stamps hitting, and they got food at the house. Now these people don't. Well, that's something you got to find out for yourself. Like, share, support. We got a guy in here. We got a Republican here. We're going to invite you to join, brother. He wants to convince me that LBJ was a racist. Now, it's the same guy who makes excuses for Trump, but he wants to convince me LBJ was a racist. Ain't that something, bro? It's sort of like Vivek. You see how they just make stuff up? They just reinvent the wheel. But he's not smart enough to come up here, man. And most of these guys, that's what I'm saying. I'll do this, and these guys are just simply not smart enough to take. They can't defend what they say. Like the stream, brother. That's a StreamYard. Look, like the stream. That's a StreamYard link. Support the platform. Look at this dude. That's it. So that's it. He said, research it, my dude. LBJ was a rape. That's it. So you want me to just stop with LBJ? So anybody else you want me to add to that list? Anybody else? That's it? Just stop with LBJ? You ain't. First of all, I don't agree that LBJ was a racist. LBJ was a man of his time. He was a president. I don't think he was a racist. You think he's a racist because you really want me to vote for the Republican. Brother, you don't know who I vote for. And why would I listen to some dumbass that don't have the balls to join a stream? You're a coward. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to block you for that. I don't like cowards. Why would I listen to a fucking coward on the internet? Get your ass out of here with this racist. They really play on black people. They play on your intelligence. They really play on your intelligence. They'll tell you, they'll feed you these lies and half-truths. They'll just feed you lies. LBJ, man, he really was against y'all. Well, but he signed and said, no, but he was really against y'all. Don't you get it? No, I don't get it. Don't see, he did that because he said y'all Negroes gonna be voting for the Democratic Party for 50 years. Probably. So I'm saying, okay, you're probably they support his civil rights. But yeah, but he did that to do that. He did what to do what? To get y'all to vote. Well, what's the Republicans offering? Jim Crow? Well, do you want to be under Jim Crow? Well, man, y'all better off under Jim Crow. Okay, well, why don't you get under Jim Crow? I don't want to be under Jim Crow. You don't get it. He got your ass. You don't get it. That's what it's like talking to these idiots. Just foolishness. Absolute nonsense. Vivek is going to be the fall guy. Ramaswamy, they're going to use him, especially Nick Fuentes. Especially Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes went in on him again, went in on him today. Nick's going to use him now he's a conservative. Nick's a conservative. Saying that the party's got to move away from guys like this. And hold up, not because of what I'm saying, right? Because we've all tired of the racism, right? But no, he just don't like them. He don't like guys like this. Now, for me, his racism moves me away from him. And I know he's trying to get somebody to vote for him. But that same old stale 1940s, 50, talk about the Negro like a dog to endear yourself to racism. That shit, it's time for that to be over. It's time for that to be over. Because somebody needs to ask him, so would you be a billionaire if it wasn't for the civil rights movement? And catch him writing this. So would you be a billionaire? Your parents came here. Was they even naturalized citizens? They had you, birthright citizenship. You became American citizen, but everything you're saying, everything that you're saying, right, about Jim Crow and civil rights, if that didn't happen, why do we want you here? Why? What gives you the right to come here? But ain't nobody gonna do that, bro. Hispanic Latinos. Yeah, that do matter, bro. Straight hair, that matters. I remember growing up with a dude, he was American. He said, I'm going by what he told me. He said he was an American Indian. He used to say, don't call him black. He used to always say, man, don't call me black. I'm an Indian. He never said Cherokee and then he just said he was an Indian. And he had a little bit of straight hair. He had I'd have to show it to you. He did have straight hair. His hair was not nappy. His hair was straight a little bit, right? That man would sit there and comb and comb and comb and brush and brush. That man, he took that little piece of hair because he was going bald. His hair was coming out. He took that little bit piece of hair that was left and he spread that thing across his head. He waved it up. And it was straight. No, it was straight hair. Man, that man put waves in that little bit of hair. He had a little piece of hair that should have been cut off. He brushed on that, bro. And the first thing he would tell people is, yeah, he an Indian. You say that quick. Nah, bro, what you mean? No, hey, man, I'm an Indian. Y'all cool and shit, but I'm an Indian. That dude wasn't no damn Indian. But he used to tell us that all the time. He used to always say, I should have said, hey, speak one of their languages. You know, it was 500 tribes, right? 500 languages. You know that, right? Mr. Indian man. Mr. Indian man, speak some Cherokee. Hey, he couldn't do that. But that's what I'm saying. You see these guys, you grow up around these guys, and then you see a guy like Vivek, and he runs that little game. And you say, man, I've seen so many dudes do this right here. Like the stream, brother. Support the platform. Hit the Cash App. Hit the Super Chat. We got a lot of trolls in here, bro. I must be doing something right. They give a damn about me. I don't know why. I do not know why, man. But they care about what I say, bro. I don't know why. Like the stream, brother. And just like they never do, like I said, I put the join link out there for MAGA. I guess they do have to make a choice, though, MAGA. Do you want Black Americans who are Christian, raising families? Or do you want different faiths? And let me tell you something, they're not coming here to rake your leaves. They come in here to lead your ass. So MAGA's going to have to make up their mind. What do they want? Now, this Vivek dude, if you run for president, lose, and then you run for governor of Ohio. Yeah, that don't even sound right. That don't even sound right. It don't look like he gonna win that. It don't look like he's gonna win that. And he came in thinking everybody was so impressed with him, and look at you. It's just a different world now, man. People are tired of it. You got an American first movement. People are saying, hey, we want America. We want baseball. We want apple pie. We want our kids to play football and basketball. We don't want our kids to play soccer. We don't want soccer fields. We want football fields and baseball fields. We want to come home to apple pie. That's the America people want. They don't want this America with all this weird, different. And then you start talking about somebody's faith. People don't want that, man. They want the church, man. Where you go to church at? Mount Olive. Where you go? I go to New Baptist. Hey, check it out. This Sunday, me and my wife, we're going to join you for church. Oh, you're more than welcome. Okay, well, meet me. I'm going to meet you at the parking lot. They open up at 11, right? Yes, I normally attend 11 o'clock services. All right, I'm going to be out there at 10:45. You go to church, man. You go sitting there. You ain't mad. You sit down. You listen to a sermon. You get out. You talk to your workmate or whatever. Say, yeah, okay, man. Hey, man, nice church, man. I enjoyed myself. Maybe we can do this again. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's what people want, man. It's a new day now. It's a new day. That's what people want now. They want that old school world, the way that a lot of people grew up in, man. They might be white folks, but they church folks, them Christian folks. Black folks, but they church folks. We can all, understand each other under that. Yeah, you mind your own business, man. You ain't trying to take nobody home with you. But the world done changed now, man. Now you got people coming in here talking about soccer fields. Motherfucker talking about they got Dish Network. Said, why you got Dish Network? I want to see all of these foreign channels. Huh? What you mean? Y'all like to keep up what's going on in my country. So you got Dish Network? Yeah. They offer all of this. Yeah. Why you got on that robe, bro? Robe and sandals. A lot of people, man. A lot of people, they've had it, man. They've lost their minds about this stuff. And that, America first. What's wrong with that? I'm with America first. I'm with America first. And I hope that guys like this Ramaswamy guy wakes people up. Man, stop that racism, brother. Stop letting people manipulate you, playing race with you. Stop people lying to you. Blacks were better off in Jim Crow. Ask him, does he want to be in Jim Crow? And then if he says no, say, well, you go back to India. Why don't you say, I'll pay you $1 million if you stay in India for 1 year, and see if he'll accept that. No, Mumbai. No, down there in Mumbai. So when you up here talking about black people and racism, you got look at you. What do you do? Why are you so concerned with black people and racism? Or are you just dog whistling that to get me to vote for you? They ran his ass up. Get your ass up out of here. Take your ass out of here. Nobody want to hear that shit, man. He says, I'm glad he got booed off stage. He thinks if these people have their way, he'll be protected. They will switch up on him so quick. Plus, he sounds a little racist. But you know what, Santana? You know what? He is playing with fire because he don't know about the United States. See, let me tell you something. This guy looking at Trump, and he think he could do the same thing. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna work for him. You ain't gonna get no protection, brother. Congress, woo, woo. Can you imagine Congress being united for this guy? That ain't gonna happen, bro. That ain't gonna happen. So even if he won, he would have to be on eggshells. This dude would be Beige Obama. He would be Beige Obama. That's all he would be. He would be nothing but another Obama. He would ignore the black community till he didn't have to. But see, black people ain't got to worry about it. They getting rid of guys like him. And I'm glad because all that stuff he said about black people. And then these dudes get run out of political spaces. Where do they go? The Breakfast Club. They wind up on the Breakfast Club. Down and Charlemagne. See, that's what I'm saying. It'd be one thing. And he's tried to do it, but they keep criticizing him for doing it. It'd be one thing if Charlemagne was politically astute and up to par, up to date on political climate and what's going on. But he's not. Charlemagne's not up to date. He doesn't understand politics, and they make an ass out of him every time they go up there. An absolute ass out of him. And he sniggles and giggles. Like the stream, man. Support the platform. We got the join link posted, man. Hold on, let me put this up here. It's been going for a while, brother. I know Vivek ain't no interest in him. We gotta do the stream, man. I'm sorry. We're gonna do it. We will do a game stream in a minute, though. It's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be a minute, though. The bubble. The bubble. The boil. The game is like boiling water, brother. The game. The boil. The boiling point. That's how you doing, bro. You up in the club, whatever, hanging out. The things starting to bubble. You socializing, things starting to bubble. She like you, you like her. Y'all together, y'all listening, y'all grinding together. Shit starting to bubble. The boiling point, bro. Now y'all leaving. Yeah, that's what you're trying to do, man. But we ain't gonna do that now, man. We'll do that. What y'all got to do, man, is hit me up on my email, man. We're gonna have to do some private consultations, man, because I can give you the game. I just can't. This ain't really the crowd. This is a different type of crowd. This really ain't that crowd. Even though I got a lot of that crowd, but they got to, yay, let me know what you want to do. Mm-hmm. The reason black people did better in segregation was because they supported each other. There's no need to return to segregation to support each other. But see, this is the thing, Miss Terry. This is the thing. If segregation was what they said it was supposed to be, it actually would have worked. It would have worked if white mobs weren't going into black communities and committing genocide, all types of massacres, black people being massacred by white people. That was under Jim Crow. That was under, if one of you Negroes do something, we're gonna take it out on all you Negroes. That was Jim Crow, which was supposed to be separate but equal. Black Wall Street, Jim Crow. Jim Crow. Like the stream, bro. Like the stream. Jim Crow was America, brother. I know you want to try to put that on. Hold up. This dude, he probably just a troll. I know you want to put that on the Democrats. That was white America. That was white. Jim Crow slavery was white oppression against a black people. This foolishness that you cooked up, right, is from the Republican Party to try to get black people to vote against their best interests. That's not going to happen, brother. Okay? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. See, they want black people to be like this guy, this Vivek guy. That's what they really want. They want you to be like him. They want you to constantly try to fit in. Even when they pop you upside the head, they want you to come back with a knot on your head, begging for to fit in. You got to fit in with me. Hey, I'm one of you guys. I voted for Trump 3 times. I voted for Trump 3 times. That sounds like Tate, don't it? That sounds like Andrew Tate. You know, somebody said this dude is the what's it called? Was it him? Yeah, they were saying he was like a cleaned up Andrew Tate, this Vivek guy. I voted for Donald Trump 3 times. If only Lyndon B. Johnson hadn't interfered, the black community would have been better off. But the liberals, like they always do, they messed it up. And look at us now. Look at us now. That used to work, bro. White people said, forget that. That used to work. But they say, yeah. Okay, but what about the rest? What about this data center? Well, I'm going to do what's best for you, and I'm going to put that center close where your kids can get jobs. What about all the other stuff they can get? What do you mean? What about the cancer? Oh, well, that's inconclusive. Why don't you put the data center in your neighborhood? You know what? This is about winners and why it ran his. Get your ass out of here. Get your winners and whiners. Get your ass. They ran his ass up out of it. Thank you. MAGA, racist, I don't care. Thank you, MAGA. Do it again to him. Do it again to him. Tell him all that man ain't gonna work. Okay, you don't like Negroes. Okay, what else? What else you got though? Like the stream, brother. We got another troll in here. I'm gonna tell you, brother, if you can't hit the join link, I'm gonna block you. Simple as that. Simple as that. These guys, they hop on here, they troll the chat. I let them get away with it. They don't super chat. And then when I say come up, they won't come up. So I'll just block them. It is. It is, man. And that question remains unanswered. Were blacks better off under Jim Crow? If you're out there, man, give me an answer. If you got a brain, and a lot of you don't have that, though. I'm saying if you have a warm brain, give me a reason why Jim Crow was better off for blacks. But a lot of people, they don't have that. They thinking that's just not their thing. And Vivek knows that. And that's why he's so rich. He knows that. He knows thinking that ain't their thing. Vivek knows that. He knows that ain't their thing. I can say anything. They don't care. I just say it and they'll believe it. Jim Crow was better. Blacks were better off of Jim Crow. Oh, well, you're right. No, he got $1 billion in the bank. He got $1 billion in the bank. He must be right. Well, see, them days over with. They're saying, nah, man, what else you got? He come in and he be like, huh? What else do you have, sir? We get it. You don't like blacks. Okay, what else are you offering us? A data center? They read his head. Get your ah. I read about it. Man, you can't get nobody to a data center. Nobody want no data center. Who want a data center in their backyard? Nobody want that in there. I mean, you got a hum. You got a them generators. Your kids and stuff upstairs, man. You got all that electricity and all that energy and water and all of that stuff going on. And your kids growing up. You don't know what your kids, that may affect their kids. You upstairs, you as a parent, you in your house, your daughter crying, she can't sleep. Her head hurt from all of that. Just constantly. But see, Vivek, he don't want to talk about that because that's your neighborhood. He don't want to talk about that. He wants to come in there talking about Negroes and Jim Crow. Like, bro, we actually that decision's been made. What else you got? He said, what else you got? She said James Crow didn't go anywhere. Yeah. A lot of people do believe that Jim Crow. It's scary when you think about it, man. Jim Crow. What was less than 100 years ago, right? Less than 100 years, man. Jim Crow, man. Black people. If you was Jim Crow, man, you had a girlfriend or a wife a little bit outside of town, man. You had to be you had to walk on eggshells, man. You had to walk on eggshells. And let me tell you something. Women are still women. Let's be for real, right? Women are still women. Men are still men. Hey, man, you could be a white guy and you could like a black girl. She's like, damn, that girl fine. Damn, she fine. And you a white guy, she black, and there go a black dude trying to date her. You can say, nah, brother. Boop, 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 boop. Every time he come through, I need your license registration. This your car? He said, yeah, man, it's my car. You pulled me over last week. I don't remember. I think you missed that stop sign. I didn't miss a stop sign. You pulled me over last time, told me the same thing. Oh, man, human nature ain't going to change, bro. That's what I'm saying. So when you talk about Jim Crow, people abuse that. Why we like to pretend nobody abused that? Mm. They said one day, you goofy Negroes. Isn't that something? See, that's why he still got some power, because he got people like Jarvis. See, he got those people. He got them. He'll always have people like Jarvis. Look what he said right here. Ain't no. Ain't no blacks being killed by the police. Ain't no. You that? That's a black dude with a white avatar. But a lot of that. And Vivek is right, man. Bruh, let me tell you something. Black community is finished. So there's some truth to what he says, man. I didn't say that. I don't agree with the Jim Crow thing, but if he wants to criticize a lot of the crime, but he also got to remember the white community commits crime. They do drugs and all of that. That comes from everywhere. But see, I'm from America, right? Apple pie, baseball, family, faith, those things were major parts. I'm from that. So I know what people are talking about. That is America, man. Faith, family, apple pie, baseball. It's a country we love. That's a country we want to be a part of. All of this stuff and soccer and you don't believe in God and stuff. See, I'm not from that part of the world. I'm not. Churches did a lot for me. I'm talking about growing up. Churches did a lot. I don't know about all this $100 for tithing and stuff. I didn't have no money. I've been to plenty of churches. They did a lot for me. They fed me. They pointed me in the right direction. They gave me comfort when I needed. Churches, not churches, various churches. They've always been there. So, and when you talk about Malcolm X, see, Malcolm was a Muslim. Malcolm was not a Muslim. He was a Muslim. He was a black Muslim. And a lot of people ran away from that, brother. They ain't gonna give up their faith. They like, hell no, we ain't gonna do that one. Even though what he was saying is good, I'm not giving up my faith, brother. Your faith is everything. Who you believe in, that matters all over the place, man. There you go. He said he got 4 army duffel bags. There you go. You throw me one of them bags, though. Hold on. I got 4 army duffel bags full of money. No white man plastic. Man, throw me one of them bags, though. If you really was about that life, nigga, you'll serve me up on these tubes. You'll serve me up a bag, nigga. A bag, a duffel full of money. But you ain't about that life. We're gonna get some. What are real people at, bro? What are real money makers at? And you know what, right? You ain't got no money because you got all your shit in duffel bags. Ain't nobody really chasing ain't nobody with no real paper. Ain't nobody out here with no real motherfucking paper got their money in duffel bags. This nigga been watching movies, bro. Money, bro. Ain't nobody with no real money. First of all, if you got real money, you ain't gonna have it in your house anyhow. What you gonna do with it in your house? Who gonna have $1 million, $1.5 million, even though that dope dealer got caught with that and they put that on TV? That man had $1.5 million and pills and all that stuff, and he got caught. Man, you gotta have that. You gotta know what to do with money. See, a lot of Negroes, y'all don't even know what to do with. You don't even know what to do with money, bro. You guys get money, but you don't know what to do with it. And you know what? Your ego stops you from doing that. Instead of you trying to figure out what to do with the money, your ego gets in the way. So now you go from one duffel to two duffel to three duffel to four duffel. Get your, you know what, bro? Let me tell you something. If I walk in your house and you got four, I don't give a fuck if they fill with hundreds all the way to the top. You better be glad I don't work for the police department, bro. You better be glad. I wish I would run across some motherfucker with 4 duffel bags with money that ain't even been checked in. It's just money he got upstairs. Nigga, you out your motherfucking mind. Nigga, you got 1 duffel bag. I go down there and talk to my people. I said, he got 1 duffel bag. He said, no, it's 3 of them. I'm going to say this again. A bag for you, a bag for me, a bag for you. He got 1 duffel bag. Got you. I said, don't worry about it. Hey, look, check it out. Take care of him, process him. I'm finna go upstairs. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And not that when they come back up there, they be like, well, we don't know where he went. I went out the window, nigga, with them bags. Don't worry about it. I got this. I got this. I got this. I don't care what he's saying. Tell him, motherfucker. Yeah. I have 3 duffel. I have 4 duffel bags for the money, baby. Internal affairs to come in and say, the guy said, I said, that guy, I don't know, that dude crazy. That dude was on that stuff. He was on that smoke. When we called him, that dude was full of that smoke. Well, he's saying, I said, man, that man talking like a motherfucking fool. Well, he's accusing you of what, man? Says you took 3 of the duffel bags and ran out. It went out the back window, huh? So that's what he said. Said, did he see me do it? No, he said that you were downstairs in handcuffs. He's saying that you did that. So what you think? What you think I did, Chief? Hey, Chief, what you think I did? It would be no 4 duffel bag. It'd be 3.5. The extra little bag coming with me, bro. I tell him you need, hey, bro, you know what you need to do? He be in handcuffs. You need to call police. He gonna be looking right at me. I said, people robbing you, nigga. Cause I'm finna show do it. I'm finna take all your motherfucking money. Man, I wish I'd do time behind it. I tell you, I'm going to jail then. Man, you got your motherfucking mind, bro. I know what to do with it. I know where to take it. I know where to put it. It's gone. He'll never get it on me. He can go down there and say, I did. I ain't got to prove that. And them other cops with me, they got a bag too. So y'all got to talk about that bag y'all got. Fuck out of here, nigga. You're going to twist on me. That's yours, motherfucker. And don't be looking at me till I went through there and pulled 100s out and put ones in there. I ain't do that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me my kids went through your bag and took all the 100s out and put dollars in there in place of the 100. I ain't do that. My kids would never do that. That's exactly what I'm going to tell my kids to do. I said, you go through that motherfucking bag, or you take all the $100 bills out, stack them up, put all the 5s, put all that money together, and all my ones, stack them up. And then you go and put them back in the bag, and the bag ain't full. You be like, damn. And the kid said, well, Daddy, what do you want me to do? I said, put a stack of 10s in there. Put 20s. It ain't full, Daddy. You know how that go, though, man. Vivek said, man, y'all need to go back under Jim Crow, boy. He tired of y'all. Where we at, man? We going on. It's a Sunday. It's a Saturday, man. Like the stream, man. Support the platform. That's a hustle. Vivek, if you're a white person, that's a hustle. That's a hustle. If you vote for him, you voting for the status quo, bro. He run that game on y'all. He throw that racism out. He'll put that data center in your backyard tomorrow, bro. That man ain't thinking about y'all. You think because he says all that race stuff that he's down with the white community? No, he's not. And I'm so happy that we're at a time where you can see that. See, that's my whole thing. So even if you're a racist, why support him? Because he's not that. He's playing that to get you to vote for him, but he ain't that. I didn't say you did. You don't have to support him tomorrow. I don't support racism. You could vote against him. You could vote against him for a lot of reasons. It ain't got nothing to do with his opinions. There's a lot of reasons to not support this guy. Like the stream, man. Support the platform, man. We got the join link posted, man. Vivek got booed off stage. A lot of his stuff, his rhetoric, all of that stuff is getting old. People are tired of being lectured. Okay, you got you some money, brother, but he thinks that gives him the right to lecture other people. People have had it with that. They don't want to be lectured by these politicians. They don't want to sit back and have him lecture them, and tell them that you should have did what I done. They're like, we don't want to hear that, man. And if you're so happy with your money, why are you trying to run for office? This job only pays $200,000 a year. They say, well, where in the world does a billionaire want a $200,000 a year job? Clearly, he wants more money. Clearly, it's a reason why he's trying to run. And then you run for president. Now you're running for governor? What kind of person does some shit like that? Maybe senator. I can see you running for senator, but you're running for governor. He said a millionaire who applied for a scholarship for immigrant children. Yep. He used affirmative action. He used it. He talked about, see, this the game. When you use it as a black person, you are wrong. And you don't, even though it was created for black people, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve the right to use affirmative action. Him, a minority, he used it. He got money because of it. His people are from India. His mother and father are not from America. They're from India. Whatever oppression, injustice, it came from India. Yet he's over here claiming affirmative action. And then because it helps him, he spews hatred and racism about black people and say they were better off under Jim Crow. And psychological slavery of affirmative action, which he used. And go and look at the amount of black people who even use affirmative action. There's probably less than 1%. More white women in America receive affirmative action than black people, not just women, people. White women get that. White women been getting that. They made affirmative action for white women. They didn't make that shit for no black people. They might have said it. I know a guy right now, he got 2 companies. It's the same company, but he says 2 of them. He went and got a tax ID for his wife and everything. He put a company up for him, a white guy. Then he put a company up for his wife. And I asked him why he did that. He said, that's for minority bidding. And I'm just listening to him. He said, see, by her being a female, she falls under minority and affirmative action. He said, so I'll have her bid. He said, I know what I charge, but I can drop it a little bit lower for her, and then I'll get the contract. He said, but it really goes through her. And I'm like, looking at dude, I said, damn. I said, they got this shit figured out, bro. I said, it's the Negro who don't know. They know how to play this game, bro. He like, yeah, I'm a white man, and this is my construction company, but my wife has her own construction company, which is bullshit. So she can bid for minority contracts. And then I can sit back and say how much and cost overruns. I can turn around, go in and say it's a cost overrun, but I'm going to get my money. And then he got the nerve, Vivek, sit up there talking about black people and affirmative action is psychological slavery for black people. Bro, white people own it way more than black people. Is it slavery for them? And that's the hocus pocus. That's the game that they play, bro. That is the hocus pocus. Like the stream, brother. Support the platform. He says the Indian man spoke the truth, but some black people overlooked. You know what, brother? I'm gonna tell you something, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. The day for you, whatever, who is this dude? Your day, Javon, your day is over. Javon, hang it up. Javon, we're in a new day now. Racism ain't going nowhere. I didn't say racism was over, but these people, like the Viveks, thinking that they can exploit the racial divide so that they can empower themselves, them days over with. Those days are over, man. They're not going to let you do that. And it's coming from MAGA. America First and MAGA. They're not going to let you, they don't want to hear that. They looking at you, you talking about you Hindu, and you want to lead them. They're not letting you do that. They want Christians. And you could say what you want about black people, but black people are Christians. And some people say to a fault. Yeah, they want Christians. They want a Christian. They want somebody who's holding that Bible and they're bleeding. And they're bleeding for Christ. They don't want this Hindu. You worship what? You worship a bucket. What? You worship a bucket. What the fuck? They're not falling for that. That's over with, man. They're done with that. They moved on. They didn't quit this. The community's changed, bro. He said Vivek isn't pushing Hindu. I didn't say he was. Well, that's a whole different can of worms right there if he pushing Hindu. I didn't say he was, but let me see something. Hold up. Let me look this up because he said he didn't have no shoes on. Let me see. Vivek with no shoes. Was it a cultural thing? Is he low key trying to let the world know what you get? Let me see what happened. Vivek had on no shoes, barefoot backlash. I'm looking at it right now. Yep, he's barefoot. I'm looking at him right now. It says Vivek Ramaswamy slammed for going barefoot inside his own house. Barefoot. It says sitting barefoot inside his own house has sparked a wave of negative reactions online. Much of the backlash has some racial overtones. Some people are calling him anti-American and uncivilized. Yeah. Yep, barefoot. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at people don't want to see that, man. That's not how Americans do. We put our shoes on, man. If we're gonna be on TV, If somebody wants to interview us, we put our clothes on, we put our feet, we put our shoes on. We don't walk around barefoot. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. It's a different world over there. We don't walk around barefoot, man. We're not going to walk around our homes. If people are coming over from the job, we're gonna put our clothes on. We're gonna dress our kids up. We're gonna clean the place up. You got people from work in there. Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, yeah, sit down, man. Enjoy this, enjoy that. Enjoy it. Watch a little football. Yeah, the wives over here. Yeah, having fun. That's how we do. We don't walk around fucking barefoot. I'm gonna take my motherfucking. You know how offensive that is? Do you know how offensive it is to be in a room with people, multiple people, and you decide to take your fucking feet off? You take your feet out. So you barefoot. Nobody want to smell your feet, man. People trying to eat. People trying to, enjoy themselves. You walking around with no fucking shoes on. Because you don't know, bruh. That's the whole point. We get it. You don't know. And that's what they're saying. They don't trust you. They're saying you ain't American enough. You don't know. We don't move like that, man. We just don't move like that. We're going to have our clothes up. Hey, man, no. I don't care if the wife don't like the people at the job. Hey, look, they're coming over. I know you don't like them. Listen, serve them. Don't worry about it. Let me take care of this. All of them. And that's what I'm saying, man. And he's finding out, bro. He's finding out the hard way. People ain't with that. Look at this. Hold up. Look at these excuses. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. And this might be Vivek. It might be him. He said, I used to be barefoot all the time as a kid and kind of miss it, but my feet can't handle the crap anymore. Well, he's not a kid. He's running for governor. Your current governor right now, do you want to see his feet or her feet? No. Listen, your current governor, do you want to see his or her feet? He said, no, I'm black and American. I used to walk around barefoot, but only near the home. Now, I walked around barefoot inside my house. And that's, I met a dude from Louisiana. He was like that. He was from, he was Cajun. It was a white dude. He was a Cajun white dude from Louisiana. And that white dude used to climb trees barefoot. And I used to look at him. I said, man, how you do that? He used to go up that tree. Man, and come down barefoot. I said, man, how you do that? He said, huh? I said, how the fuck you climbing trees and coming down trees barefoot? Ain't you scared of splinters? He said, oh, no, ain't no big deal, man. I got hard feet. He said, I grew up like this. He said, He said, all my life, man, I don't wear no shoes. And he didn't know at that point. I was like, listening. I was like, who is this white dude from Louisiana who doesn't wear shoes? And I listened to that man, and he told me that. And now, let me tell you something. That dude was coolish. That dude was cool. That was one of the coolest dudes I ever in my life met. That dude was cool. But the barefoot thing, that was just something I just didn't understand. He told me he didn't like shoes. He said, man, sometimes, man, he said, after we get out from work, man, I can't wait to take my shoes off. He said, I just don't like shoes, man. He said, I don't like my feet just being behind socks and shoes like these. In my feet, they just feel better, man. And that dude was running around. That dude would climb a tree barefoot. All that bark, and he just, man, you got to see him too, bro. He was good at it too. He was good at it. And then he told me he was in a tree for like 3 hours. I said, man, and I tried to warn him. I said, man, you better be careful, man. He said, what? He said, man, I like being in trees, man. He said, I grew up in New Orleans. I grew up, wait, was it New? He was Cajun. I don't know where the Cajuns are. He said, I'm Cajun, man. He said, swampland. He said, man, we always in trees. He said, as a kid, all I did was run around barefoot, man, climb trees. And he said, I miss that shit so much. And he had that Cajun accent too, with that Thibodeau. You know what I'm talking about? And that dude would climb the tree. And he said, only thing I had, he said, man, I've been climbing trees for 2 weeks here, man. He said, the only problem I ever had was these cockroaches. I said, ugh. He said, man, there ain't nothing, man. He said, just push the bark on them. And I said, ugh. I said, man, that's nasty. He said, no, it's not. Then he said, they sort of taste good. I said, man, get. And then I was like, cool. Dude was cool. I'm like, bro, you just tripping. Like, bro, why you doing this? And I used to go to the club, man. I used to pass going on out the base. I used to look up, that dude be up in a tree. He'd be curled up to a tree. I was like, man, fuck that. I don't want to be curled up to no tree. Fuck home. If home mean I'm gonna be climbing trees and wrapped around a tree instead of a woman, fuck home. Fuck home and fuck a tree. I wish I would too. I saw that dude. I said, man, that dude there, bro. White dude. I said, man, that man ain't that, bro. So that's what I'm saying. That ain't gonna work in America, bro. Vivek, barefoot, that ain't gonna work. Said the minister said something about this. He should have got out too. Oh, what happened to him? I think I told him that. I said, man, you need to get out. He was like looking at me. I said, man, you just like home too much. This ain't for you, man. All of this is not. He just looked at me. He thought about it. I said, man, you just like home too much. You out here climbing trees and shit like that. Man, you better get at these bitches, nigga. Fuck you doing, bro? Hey, man, I'm going to take you by the PX, get you some fits, and take you to the club, man. Get you a woman, man. All this tree stuff, let that stuff go. Man, he wouldn't do that. He was like, nah, man. I lead the way. I look up, that dude be up in the tree, bro. He said he preferred being in the tree than in his bunk. Man, I remember that shit too. And I'm gonna be for real. I said white folks. Now he was a Cajun dude. I don't know if he was a liberal or Republican, but after he told me he'd rather be in a tree and shit than in his bunk, and he liked being barefoot and walking on them sticks and them pine cones. Man, them things that cut your foot open, them pine cones, and he climbed the tree and go through that bark barefoot. I gotta admit this. I said white folks. No, I did for real. I said, man, white folks. I said white folks. I'm being for real. I said white folks. Because I didn't get what he was saying. Nothing I did got, and I didn't get it. And I see now. And see, a lot of people are seeing that these guys, Vivek and guys like that, actually hurt them because they don't spew all that racism like these guys. They might not like black people, but they don't be all out there talking about we need to go back to Jim Crow and shit. That's what I'm saying. They're getting tired of these guys. They don't need them. They said, well, no, man, I'm talking about crime. You keep talking about Jim Crow. I'm talking about crime in Chicago. Where you get that I agree with the crime and the gangs and the thuggery. I don't agree with that. But you're up here talking about fucking Jim Crow. No, I don't think black people need to go back to Jim Crow. But you say that shit to try to come off like you're ultra conservative. And then you hide behind your color that you're a minority to say it. Well, you mean I'm racist? I'm not racist. I'm black too. And that doesn't happen, man. That's over with now. That done ran its course, but those days are over with, man. The Viveks And I'm so happy. I'm so tired of these guys. I am so tired of these guys. I'm just tired of these guys, man. They do the same thing. They dog whistle the racism. They come in and pander for the white vote. And when people call them out like they're doing now, they're saying, okay, what's your faith? Hindu. People are like, nah, man, I ain't feeling that. And then he starts talking about winners and whiners and trying to shame people, and they ran his ass off stage. Like, what? No, I'm being for real, man. They're tired of these. These are the same old guys. It's the same two-step. It's the same old BS. These guys running around talking about they want to send black people to slavery. And I did it all. Me. I'm a minority in America. Why are these guys crying and crying and crying? And they say, okay, we hear you, bro. We feel that part. Okay, we feel you. But what else you got? Well, what I got for your community is a new data center. But whoa, hold up for a minute. We don't want a data center. You look around the whole auditorium. Nah, we don't want a data center. We want jobs, but we don't want a data center. Well, you guys are a bunch of whiners. And I'm a winner. So what do you want to be, winners or whiners? And they booed it. Man, you better get your. They ran, bruh. It's a good thing he left. It's a good thing. They didn't play that. They said, what you call me? Like, who is this? Who is this dude coming up on stage disrespecting me, talking about something? I'm a whiner? And he got his ass up out of there too, didn't it? And that was from MAGA. That's from MAGA. MAGA was like, nah, man. And you know what? This is setting the tone too. A lot of these people, Vivek is closing the door on a lot of these people because he's exposing them. These dudes that come through and act like they down, they really not down. And that's the whole thing about Trump, right? A lot of people say Trump's a liberal. And they said this depends on how you look at it. You looking at it from one position. Well, if you understand what the Democratic Party has always stood for, Trump's a liberal. You just think he's not. And they're looking at Vivek. I don't think Vivek's a liberal. Not at all. Even Jeb, look at that, hold up. Jeb's a conservative. Jeb don't want no data. They saying they don't want that in their communities, bro. Don't y'all get it? They didn't say you can't put that shit out somewhere, but don't put it by my house. Don't nobody want to wake up and listen to no damn no magnetic hum. Nobody want to hear that. You playing games with your kids and you got a magnetic hum. And that's what I'm saying. And people are coming together saying, hey, you can make the data center, but don't put it in communities. Also, don't poison the water. Obviously, they don't want that to happen. And they don't like the fact the internet, see, people are informed now. People are informed now, and they don't want that in their communities, Republican or Democrat. And see, they can't play the racial shell game. Let's punish the Negro. Let's put the data center in the Negro's place because don't nobody want that. And don't nobody know how that's going to affect their children. Don't nobody know that? Who wants to live next door to Facebook or Instagram or TikTok? All those are data centers or multiple data centers to process all of this stuff that we're even now. But who wants to live next to? Who wants to look out their house and see it? All of that electricity, man, all that voltage, all of that just constantly over your house, that's going to mess with your kids, man. That's just going to mess with them. And then remember, because you live there, they never get a break. The only time they get a break is when they get away from you. But at the house, you got that low hum, that ooh, ooh. Man, don't nobody want that, bro. Yeah, and it's got to be clean water. You say it's a lot of water, and you got to purify the water. That water got to be drinkable. You can't use swamp water on those generators, which is all you're doing is cooling down the generators, but you really can't do that. It's got to be clean water because it's got to be a certain value of the water. But then again, I don't know. We certainly got a lot of people coming up. What's that movie Oblivion? Remember Oblivion with Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman? And he goes up to the alien. He sneaks Morgan Freeman up there. He goes up to the alien, and the alien says, this is my, I'm your God. The alien says, I'm your God. I became your God. When I got here and I started sucking all that water up in your oceans, I became your God. And then they blew it, motherfucker. The alien said, I'm your God. And Morgan, they had that little head. I think it was Tom Cruise. He had that little thumb detonator. And that motherfucker said, when I came here, I became your God. He said, okay. Boom. You can discount that, but that means a lot to people now, bro. But people are tired of Vivek. They just tired of Vivek, man. They tired of this dude. They like dudes like this. I don't like dudes like this. They tired of guys like this. He's not a white guy. He certainly ain't a black guy. Yet he's always running around stoking racial fires. It was not black people who booed him. Those were white. Those were white MAGA Trump supporters. They booed his ass off stage. So who's he going to sell this successful white man imaging? Because the white people ain't buying it. We gonna sell it to niggas? What he gonna be on? Charlemagne gonna be on Charlemagne? He gonna host the show? What he gonna do? Take Envy place? Even though that might be a good idea. What he gonna do? Take Envy's place on the Breakfast Club? He could. I'm not even against that. What Envy offers, Envy don't offer anything. What Envy is, that I do it. If I was Charlemagne, I'd do it. I put Vivek up there. He got a few dollars in his pocket. Like the stream, man. Support the platform. Got the join link posted, man. There we go. Join the stream, man. He said not all black people. He said not all black people are racist. Oh, you sure about that? Okay, Hyperwolf, man, and take care of yourself, bro. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy, bro. You know what we're gonna do for that? Hold on. When you put stupid statements like that up there, woo-hoo, we're gonna send you to the dungeon, brother. Yeah, I got rid of that. That's the dumb. That dude's a dummy. That's that gaslight. He said, not all black people are racist, though. Who said they were? You said they were. Oh, that's your compromise. And are you talking about racism or conservatism? Because that's basically what you're talking about. That's the game. That's the racial shell game. Conservatism. Don't nobody want racism, but conservatism and black identity. And that's the game, the three card, which one will a pebble line down there? Because they say, well, you not black, you conservative. But hey, but none of these conservative values are doing anything for my community. Well, you conservative. We not for the black community. You must be a liberal. No, I think my community deserves a fair share. You's a liberal. I knew it. Your black ass. You a liberal. Did you watch Raising Cane the other day? No, bro. Not at all. Why would I look at Raising Cane? Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I got you, brother. Brother said he listening to me with his wife. Here he is right here, Tiana Trump. Now, Tiana Trump's father. you failed, brother. Hey, you failed, bro. You did a terrible job of raising your daughter, bro. Your daughter is on one, bro. Your daughter out there. She on one. Your daughter is on one. But I appreciate you though, man. That nigga named Tiana Trump's father. That nigga, bro. You ain't do much. Bro, the stuff she did, I ain't even talking about now. And look, shout out to you, Tiana Trump's father. I see she got kicked to the curb by the soccer guy. She's still thick, though. She's still a thick little red bone. You probably have to settle for a regular dude, though. I hope you're ready for a dude who got a barber. You might well you gotta entertain a black barber. $25 a chop. No, there's more than that. $40 a chop. $40 a chop. You can probably cut your hair for $40. Make you some babies, some future barbers. Like, share, support, man. Like the stream, man. Support the platform. We see MAGA's gonna run for the hills. Bro, talking about being brainwashed, bro. A lot of these dudes, these MAGA dudes, they brainwashed. You right. He said, all jokes aside, Platt, the black community don't deserve you, brother. You right. Tiana Trump, father. You right. I know. I know. No, you're exactly right, bro. They don't want no help. They don't want no help. They're gonna do it on their own. They got all the answers. I know. I know. I know. That's why we got Trump in office. I know, bro. You're exactly right, brother. I appreciate you saying that too. I'm glad you see that. I try to help them, bro. They don't want to listen to me. He said data center seems like the power plant argument. Who wants to live next to a data center? Got you. Understood, brother. And we finna get up out of here though, man. We appreciate you. Like, share, support, man. Like the stream, man. Support the platform. Hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat. We had to talk about this guy right here. This guy, uh, I don't know what's going on with this guy. He's trying to run for governor of Ohio. He got booed off stage. A lot of the stuff that he was saying on the political run ain't working with the locals. A lot of locals throwing it away. And also he represents a group of people who a lot of people are tired of him. They tired of guys like this guy. They want their baseball, they want their mama, apple pie, they want their Christianity. They want that. They don't want nothing else. And as an American, you can ask for that. They want that. They don't want all that other stuff. And we out, brother.